Hi everyone. Hellenic Ministries, or HM, is one of our global outreach partners. We have been walking alongside HM for a number of years, especially in the sending of teams. So we actually had 2 teams that were lined up to go this year, but because of the COVID pandemic, we unfortunately had to postpone those. Now, the kinds of teams that we normally send, in the past we've sent teams that go and support Bible distribution with Operation Joshua. We've also had teams that have gone and supported the critical needs of refugees. As you can imagine, as people come in to the shores of Lesbos and they end up in Moria camp, this large refugee camp in Greece, there's currently 20,000 people there, and it was meant for only 3,000. And so it's an area just desperate with needs. So we've sent teams there as well. Now, in the last couple summers, we've actually sent teams to Porto Astro. Porto Astro is Hellenic Ministries' retreat property, and it's just this place where magical things happen. And so if you can imagine, refugees are brought in after being in a very difficult situation. They get this week of complete hospitality, just being loved on. So our team goes in and supports in a number of ways. They actually go and help provide meals, so the families don't have to do that. They help take care of the kids, and they provide opportunities for all these different refugees to go and be part of incredible activities and incredible discussions as well. And so what happens often is that these families, as they're leaving, being in Porto Astro, they say things like, "This has been the most incredible experience of my life." And they say things as well like, "We now have an understanding that there is a compassionate and loving God." And so great things happen at these camps. So along with people going on in teams, we also have had the opportunity to send support for 2 different church planters. And so they are doing dynamic work around Greece, doing kingdom work, and we are so excited to be part of that. We also have incredible relationships. So when you look at the fact that Ifie Janzen, who's on our church board, it's actually her brothers that run Hellenic Ministries in Greece. We also have Pastor Dan, who goes frequently to actually mentor and really encourage the leadership of HM. And so we just have lots of ties to this ministry. Now, I recently spoke with Jonathan Macris, who is the president of Hellenic Ministries, and this is what he had to share with us.
Hi, Crossroads. Thank you, Tracy, for asking about our family and how we're doing. I'm at beautiful Porto Astro right now. As you can tell, COVID hasn't stopped us one bit. We've had to alter a lot of our programs, but we've created tremendous other venues for ministry, and Porto Astro here has been humming all summer long as well. I want to say that we're doing great. Our family has increased with COVID to about 9 people in our home. And we just had a week's vacation and have come back energized to see how God is going to use us in the year ahead and how He's going to continue to open doors of opportunity in these troubling times. This is a year in our hearts and our family that we believe that God is going to pronounce a good future and hope. And so it is with that message in my heart that I feel refreshed and excited to face the challenges, oftentimes wearing a mask and doing all that we need to do. But yeah, we're doing well. Thanks for asking.
Now, I know a lot of people at Crossroads have been a part of Hellenic Ministries one way or the other. We've had people who have served with Operation Joshua. We've had people who have gone and been part of the camps over at Porto Astro, and where you're recording today, and also with the Moria, the refugee camps. And so can you just give us a few updates about what's been going on and how are things going in terms of ministry?
Tracy, again, thanks for asking about the ministry. It has just been a ride. Imagine 20,000 refugees packed in less than a 1.5 kilometer radius, living on top of each other, 6 people per tent in the island. I'm speaking about Moria on Lesbos Island, where a number of you all have been to. Even some of you from the worship team have been there. Such an encouragement to our hearts to be in partnership, ministering to the needs of the poorest of the poor. But imagine what went through our minds and our team on the ground, what they've gone through to try to prevent COVID from spreading within camp. I mean, we got 1,300 people per faucet, 250 people per toilet. Anything was predictable, anything could have happened. And there's only 6 beds in the hospital on Lesbos Island for emergency cases. So yeah, it's been amazing at how resilient the team has been. In Lesbos, they said, if there's a lockdown and there's a spread of the virus in the camp, our volunteers and our leadership there on the ground said we're moving into the camp with the refugees to be there to offer hope in the midst of a crisis. Thank goodness nothing has happened. Everything is calm. There are other problems that we're dealing with. So yeah, but across the board, the Lord has given our team incredible ideas. We've started a sustainability project with refugee women who are now sewing designer masks. We've distributed thousands and thousands of meals, hygiene packets. We've even added hygiene information in our Bible packs that we've distributed with even handy wipes, sanitary wipes stuck on the outside of our Bible distribution bags so people wouldn't be afraid of taking the scriptures. And we've distributed to over 30,000 homes this summer. So it's been an amazing time of ministry.
It's great. Why don't you just share a story? I know you've got lots of great things that have happened this summer. Can you pick one story for us?
Wow, Tracy, there are so many incredible stories that have warmed our hearts during this time. Think of a man in a camp where we're doing a new church plant. He hadn't been out of camp or to a supermarket for 5 months. In addition to advertising and giving information about COVID and including the sanitary wipes I was telling you about, we also gave the opportunity for people to respond if they had physical needs. And so this is the first year where we've actually distributed hygiene packets and just food bags to people who have received the Bible. So we're incredibly excited as some calls have come in requesting for additional help. But the story that really encourages my heart was, another little highlight, was one day as we were traveling to a very distant mountain village, my wife said, take your saxophone with you. I love playing the sax for worship and so on. But I asked her why. And I've learned, just do whatever your wife asks you, because she's got to, our wives are always right. And for all of you men who don't know that, get with it, because they're right like 99% of the time. Don't argue with them. Just do what they say. And so I threw my saxophone in the car, and we drove up to this 1,800-foot elevation pass. And it felt like the Swiss Alps. We could see just mountain range upon mountain range and scattered little villages. The village we had gone to was way down the valley, 3 hours of driving, and we distributed 12 Bibles. And it felt so right to have distributed Bibles to the least reached, to the last, to the, just to the out of the way place there. And on the return, we stopped at the mountain pass, and the wind was blowing up the valley. So the villages that we had gone to and passed out Bibles, they wouldn't have heard my saxophone, even if they tried. And so I just took my saxophone in faith and just worshiped the Lord, and I just declared His goodness and His joy and His victory and His righteousness over that entire region, and just declared to the Lord through worship that He was worthy of being praised. And to our great surprise, up drove a van. I thought they were on their way out of the valley. And they pulled in behind our car, doors flung open, 3 guys came out, the one guy beaming with a smile. He says, I knew it. He said, I knew it. It was a saxophone. This beautiful, glorious, heavenly music has come down over our town. I was in disbelief. It's like, what? They actually heard. And he said, if only you could see where I live. And I said, where do you live? He said, in a glass house way down the valley. It's so beautiful down there. And I said, a glass house? I said, we were there. And he says, no, there's no way you were there. Not in this car. And so I pulled out my phone, showed him, and sure enough, I had captured a picture of his house. We had backed up, a good distance, and left a Bible at his house. And it turns out that this guy is the mayor of the entire region. And it just made our hearts so glad to know that the last and the least are being reached, even during this time of COVID.
Thank you, Jonathan. Just to close us off, can you just share how we as a church can be praying alongside you and your ministry?
Yeah, I have one prayer item that kind of summarizes all of our needs and our heartfelt requests to the Lord. And that is, behind our masks and behind our gloves, that somehow, in some way, people would see our smiles, that they would feel the expression of our love towards them. So thank you so much for your partnership together. And please know, because of your faithfulness and love for the Lord, the gospel is reaching the last and the least. May the Lord bless you.
Thank you so much for your prayers. We really do ask that you will be lifting up this ministry. They have so many touch points within the country of Greece, with the 20,000 people that are in Moria camp, with the many, many hundreds of people that have attended these summer camps, with all the people that they reach through Operation Joshua, and the thousands of people that they minister to in Athens and around. There's so many people they have the opportunity to be life and light to. And so do pray that the ministry will continue to be able to be the light of Christ, and also just for their health and for the strength of all those that are involved, especially when you think about this refugee camp with 20,000 people crammed into this space. If COVID was to get in there, it would be incredibly disastrous. And so we just continue to pray just for the safety of the team and those they minister to. Thanks so much. Have a great week.